Hey all, this is Paul from Drums and Rums, where the backbeats meets the spirits, and we've got a great episode here for you. We're back to doing Rum Podcast, and this one is going to be a preview of the 2024 Miami Rum Renaissance. But before we go ahead and jump in here about the preview of the upcoming Rum Festival, just real quick here, thanks again for tuning into this podcast, listening on whatever the favorite platform you're listening to. If you're listening on Apple, please go ahead and make sure you follow, leave us a rating, leave us a review. It lets advertisers and others know about the podcast they checked out. If you're interested, hopefully others would be interested as well. Also, go ahead and follow us on YouTube. Again, we're trying to grow the channel there, more content out there as well. And then also, lastly, we're now just a reminder if you're listening to this under the B3 Podcast Network, which is formerly the Drums and Rums Network, but now we're expanding into a podcast channel. So let's get right into it here. So, the Miami Rum Renaissance Festival. So, just a little background here, a little story. I attended my first festival. This year would be the fourth, so 20, let's see, 21, 22, 23. This would be fourth year here. And yeah, I learned about it, started the podcast in 2020, didn't learn about the festival until 2021 after talking and interviewing one of the organizers, who I'll talk about in a minute. And obviously in 2020 with COVID, so obviously there was not an event that year, but this will be the fourth year. And with that being said, this festival this year is the 15th year of bringing rum to Miami and celebrating with a lot of folks, rum enthusiasts, a lot of great information, a lot of great brands. So again, if you're a rum enthusiast, this is the one for you that if you're in the Miami area. So let's go ahead and just talk a little bit more about this Rum Renaissance Festival. So this was obviously, like I said, 15 years ago here in the U.S. That they started this festival in Miami, and it was the first major conference in the U.S. dedicated to rum. And the festival was the brainchild of Robert Burr and his wife Robin and their son Robert. And they organize it every year. It's been in Miami Beach. It's been on South Beach. It's been in Fort Lauderdale. So it's been in the South Florida area for the entire 15 years. So as I mentioned, I've attended the first one in 2021 after interviewing on the podcast Robert Burr, a senior, and going down to their place, the bar. His collection is amazing. So don't try to check out that episode of Robert and I talking rum and a lot of stories about South Florida, some diving stories. They're big into diving, but mostly obviously it's rum related here. So what exactly is the Rum Renaissance Festival? So, like I said, like a lot of festivals, there's usually a multi-day event. Obviously, tasting is the big day. Some rum festivals have seminars. Some festivals have cocktail events or bartending events or something to that effect. But yeah, very similar. So this year it's going to be a 3-day event. And what's new this year was, and they may have had it in previous years, something to this effect, a third day. But this year they have a fourth day on a Monday is a trade day. So, but let me back up and get ahead of myself. On 3 days of seminars, grand tasting sessions, and then also a trade day for those that are in the business. So again, you got rum seminars, you've got grand tasting, you got a trade day for those that are in the business, and then also a lot of probably pop-up events that'll happen over the course of those 3 days. So exactly, you're asking, when is this? So it starts Saturday 9th, and it runs from noon to 5, and there's rum seminars. And we'll just talk about the rum seminars that are coming up here in a minute. Then the next day, Sunday, hopefully you're not hungover, is the grand tasting, and that starts anywhere from 12:30 all the way to 5, depending on if you're a VIP or general admission tickets. Depends on what time you get in and try all the tastings of all the brands that are going to be there. And then Monday, if you are in the biz, it's the trade day, which is from 12:30 to 5. So a lot of great opportunities there if you're a rum enthusiast or somebody who wants to learn more about rum. This is definitely, you're living in Miami, and where else to be in Florida. There's so many great rum events that are going on in the state of Florida. So okay, so let's kind of talk a little bit more here about these seminars that start on the first day on the Saturday. So They've got a stellar lineup of great seminars by leading professionals involved in state of the art production. One ticket allows attendance at all three seminars. Seating is limited to only 75 and it will likely sell out in advance. So, again, if you want to go learn more, talk to some of these experts, make sure you go to the Saturday event and learn. We're going to go through here the three different seminars that they have here on Saturday. So, the first one is titled The Cave Above the Clouds: Production and Aging Techniques of Guatemala's Legendary Cane Spirits with Laura Vasquez. So this is an update on the legendary rums of Guatemala, produced by the Botren's family's Liqueurs de Guatemala under the direction of Master Blender Lorena Vasquez. The iconic Zacapa brand of rum, produced from sugarcane honey in Toluca region near the Pacific Ocean, is fermented, distilled, and aged high above the clouds in a volcanic region of Quetzaltenango. I'm probably pronouncing that incorrectly. Since its debut in 1976, celebrating the 100th anniversary of the town of Zacapa, the name refers to the Aztec words on the river of grass. This renowned spirit has captured the attention of rum enthusiasts around the globe. Today, more than 700 female weavers produce the distinguished petal weave of palm leaves that symbolizes the ancient culture of this tropical region. An overview of all the expressions and notes on their production techniques will be revealed. So definitely, you're probably all familiar. I know everyone, if you're a rum enthusiast or new, or just getting into rum, you probably are familiar with the Zacapa brand there. The next seminar is Tiki Evolution: The Historic Rums and Iconic Cocktails of the Mai Kai with Kern Mattei and Jim Hurricane Hayward. So the Mai Kai was established in 1956 in Fort Lauderdale and is only the last of the great mid-century Polynesian supper clubs. It's a living history of tropical cocktails and rum, and many of its secret recipes dating back to Don the Beachcomber in the 1930s. Manager Kern Mattei and journalist Jim Hurricane Hayward explore how the bar's rums and drinks have evolved yet remain timeless and classic. Along with multi-year, multi-million dollar restoration, the restaurant is unveiling a new signature spirit, Mai Kai Rum Number One. Learn more about this groundbreaking new blend sourced from historic stills in Barbados and Jamaica, a throwback to the rums of yore. About the presenters, Ken Mattei was born into the Mai Kai family and has worked there since his youth, from bar back to bartender to the past 3 decades as manager. His father was the GM before him, and his mother performed in the stage show. His unique position makes him intimately familiar with the restaurant's famous cocktails, their history, and the secret recipes. Writer and cocktail enthusiast Jim Hurricane Hayward has covered the Mai Kai for more than a decade, documenting and recreating the cocktail recipes in exacting detail on the Atomic Grog blog. So that sounds pretty interesting. There's been a lot of talk. If you follow, obviously, the Mai Kai has been going under some restorations. It's recognized as his historic location. There's a lot of history. Again, that was kind of the things you've ever thought about in movies from the 50s, what Florida used to look like, what Fort Lauderdale used to look like, is those kind of tiki restaurant and supper clubs. So and then last, the third seminar on Saturday is Mr. Fogg: The Rebirth of an Authentic Navy Rum with Adrienne Stoner of Plantaray Rums. So Maison Ferrand has released Plantaray Mr. Fogg Navy Rum, a meticulously crafted rum blend that pays homage to the rich heritage and craftsmanship of Navy rum. We learn the story of its inception and development, then taste this remarkable spirit that sets a new standard in the Navy rum category. Drawing from four of the main rum producing Caribbean islands historically used in the Navy blends: Barbados, Trinidad, Guyana, and Jamaica, Mr. Fogg is a spirit of unparalleled depth and complexity. Available as a limited edition, the rum launch is accompanied by an in-depth co-authored book exploring 300 years of Royal Navy rum and its technique by Mason Ferrand, owner and master blender Alexandre Gabriel, and rum historian Matt Petrick. So again, if you've been listening to podcasts, and you probably for a while, Matt is a alum, part of the show here as a guest that we had on, I think almost 2 years ago now. So they're really great. Again, a lot of these rum events, what's really cool is meeting up with your rum friends, right? So it's great to catch up with Matt and to learn more. Matt's been putting out a lot of great books. If you haven't followed, he's the rum wonk, the cocktail wonk. So again, he's a lot of great information, books, and so forth. You ever want to go dive deeper into some of these, more information to learn about the rum world. So yeah, so that's Saturday. So that is already a jam-packed day. You're looking at on Saturday. That's from noon to 5. And the seminars are going to take place at the Marriott Courtyard in Coral Gables. So it's Saturday is all the seminars are going to be there, and we'll talk a little bit more about the hotel as well. Some good information to pass along about that. So what's next? That Sunday is the grand tasting, and the grand tasting runs from 12:30 to 5 p.m. if you're a VIP or part of the trade industry. And then general admission opens up at 2 p.m. and runs to 5 p.m. So you get 3 hours for general admission, and then nearly 5 hours if you're a VIP. So again, if you're somebody who wants to kind of beat the crowd, it's well worth to do the VIP because you're getting in there. You're not kind of having to wait in line, or if you want to take a little bit more time talking to some of the brands, some of the owners of the brands, this is the way to do it. Not knocking the general admission. Again, but if you wanted to go a little bit deeper diving, and again, like I said, you run into some of your buddies and your rum pals like I do. I end up talking too much, and then I don't get a chance to give a sample of everything. So that's obviously the way to go. That's the recommendation. Again, I've been doing this since the last 3 years, so I've been learning. You always try to learn and improve what you're doing there. So again, on Sunday now, you've got the grand tasting. So like I said, this is going to be taking place not at the hotel, but over at the Coral Gables Women's Club. So that's just a little bit up the street from where the hotel's at, where the seminar's at. And this has been taking place there the last few years. It's a great little venue. It's a historic location, so it's a great way to kind of tie some of that being part of Miami right into the Coral Gables area. So a beautiful area there. So again, you're talking about all sorts of brands going to be there. All the big names, a lot of the newer brands as well, local brands, Florida brands, some of the independent brands, craft brands are going to be there. So it's great to try some of these new brands out if you've never tried before, or if you're new to this rum world. You're going to try to see rums that you probably don't see normally in a shelf somewhere because they're craft brands. It takes hard to get some of that distribution out. Yeah, if you're a Florida brand trying to get it out further throughout the country. So again, it's going to be a great lineup there. A lot of great things are going to go through the tasting event. One of the unique things, again, incredible selections of rum, unlimited samples. There's also a grand tasting bar too, and so you're going to have some rare and limited editions. That's a little extra if you want to try something that's not. Basically, it's some of Rob's personal collection that he'll bring and then kind of share. Again, that's the whole part of all this is also sharing with friends, sharing your rum, and then getting their feedback and what their thoughts on some of that is. So that is going on Saturday. Again, that's going to be almost an all-day event there too. Again, I know a lot of times after the tasting on the Sunday, there's usually some trip that ends up going over to some of the bars and restaurants in Miami, like Esotico. I always say it wrong. I always pronounce it wrong, but a great tiki bar that's in Miami there. You've got a lot of stuff that's on the Calle Ocho, they call it there. So a lot of great restaurants. I'm drawing a blank on some of the names, but it's a great place to go hang out, immerse yourself into South Florida and some of the culture there. So we always have a great time when we go down there, meet a lot of the good friends, great food, great drinks, etc. So that's what's going on Saturday. And then again, now if you're in the trade business and you're in the trade industry or in the spirits industry, there's Monday. So again, typical why Monday for those that you're not in the spirits or the trade industry or hospitality, restaurants, etc. Because usually most people have off. It's a slower day on a Monday, right? So the trade, right? So if you wanted to attend the trade day, you've got to get a pass. So this is an exclusive admission for the trade, folks. So the festival has always prioritized admission for members of the spirits trade, including spirit producers, importers, distributors, retailers, brand reps, food and beverage managers, bartenders, spirit press, and recognized media outlets by offering exclusive trade passes to Monday Trade Day. So again, if you wanted to attend that, you've got to go to the website there. There's a separate, it's not part of the regular tickets. You have to submit for to get a pass, and it's complimentary too. So if you're in the spirits business, a bar manager or bartender, etc., you got proof to show that you are part of the spirits industry trade, then you can go to the website, enter your information, and you'll get a pass for Monday to attend. I mean, it's a great way for bartenders to learn more about these products outside of the grand tasting with a lot of, the non-trade folks there to kind of speak firsthand, learn about a brand, and get yourself some of these folks in front of. the people that are going to probably sell your product. If you're a rum company. So we got a lot going on there. This is a 3-day event, and one of the things there go that they also on the website there, if you go to rumrenaissance.com, they've got a lot of great information about hotels, right? So why, if you live, a distance away or even close by, for me, this is about an hour and a half drive from where I live down to Miami. I never try to go back home. I always end up staying the night just because, nobody wants to get a DUI or even have any chance, even if you didn't drink too much. So there are discount rooms available at the Courtyard Marriott for $108 a night. That's where the seminars are. That's the first day. And then you can just take an Uber up from the hotel to the tasting on Sunday, or if you stay also on Monday too. Across the street, there's a hotel, Chateau Bleu. It's right across the street from the grand tasting. I stayed there a couple times. It's okay. Not knocking it. It's a good little hotel there. It's enough to kind of crash for the night. It's good enough. Again, it's also, you can't beat definitely the walking distance or stumbling distance when you're coming out of the grand tasting on Sunday. So again, you can check out the website. They've got a whole bunch of other recommendations that are near all the events to check out. Other hotels. I mean, it's a major city, so there'll be no problem finding a place to get. So, all right. So, how do you get tickets to this, right? So, you can go to rumrenaissance.com. We'll put it in the comments and the description. The link, grand tasting is $49. That gets you 2 p.m. to 5 p.m. VIP admission, like I said, gets you almost into access for 5 hours. 12:30 to 5 p.m. That's for $60. And then if you want to do a couple, if you got a two-person thing, early admission gets you into $100, right? So that's a pretty good deal if you try to go in with somebody, or if somebody goes splits on a couple, a VIP couple, right? So that's a pretty good deal there to get early admission on that. So again, the seminars are $79 in advance, $89 at the door, and that includes some food in between each seminar and a reminder that it's likely to sell out. So again, you want to definitely go. And they mentioned too the trade day, right? That's a complimentary pass if you are in the spirits industry. You got to go to the website also. There's a form there to fill out if you're in that trade industry and so forth. So again, super cool event. I've been doing a couple rum events here in Florida. I haven't traveled outside of the state yet to do any abroad, or even up in Chicago or New York or LA or other locations where they have rum festivals. Why do I got to go anywhere when I live in the great state of Florida, where there's already so many other rum events going on that I've attended? Again, everything has a little different nuance about these rum events. You can try different things. You meet again. The great part about all this, I always feel, you're drinking rum with some friends or new friends you meet, you make, and you hang out, right? So it's always a great chance to catch up with a lot of the folks. A lot of folks have been on the podcast, the Rum Travelers, or a lot of the Florida Rum Society folks have been on the podcast as well. So a lot of great event to check out. Looking forward to going this year. So definitely go and get your tickets before the prices raise or you have to pay at the door. So plan out your trip too. Go to the website. A lot of great information at rumrenaissance.com. Again, go back and listen to maybe some of the episodes that I've done with Rob and Burr, and learn more about him and learn more about his passion about rum, the rum world, and so forth. So again, that was just a quick little update episode here. We're talking about the preview of the 2024 Miami Rum Renaissance Festival in its 15th year. So again, they've been doing this for 15 years. One of the longest U.S. rum festival. Again, going back to, I don't know, do the math, right? So it's a really great event. Let's check it out there. It's in November. So hopefully we're out of hurricane season. We're almost out of hurricane season, but usually the weather's great, sunny. I always enjoy going down and hang out in Miami, and hopefully not drink too much rum. So again, check it out there. We'll find out more. We'll take some more video content on the YouTube, talk a little bit more about an upcoming podcast after it happens. And that leads almost right into our sister podcast, Riffs and Rhythms. We're doing our music festival here November 23rd. So there's a lot going on in the podcast, B3 Podcast Network, Drums and Rums, Riffs and Rhythms, Jams and Cocktails podcast, looking to grow this channel. So if you got a podcast, it's in this space that we're all about, brands, bands, and booze, come hit me up and let's talk. And I appreciate all you listening to my yabber here. And have a great day and great night. Cheers. This is Paul for the Backbeats Meets the Spirits.